If your spouse get hit with drunk driver tomorrow, what would you sue for? What number would you sue? 8 million, 10 million, 20 million? Have you ever thought about that? The reason I bring this question up because based on that answer, you can decide what life insurance policy to get or how much of life insurance to get. So if you say 10 million, then that's probably the number that you need to keep in mind when starting a life insurance policy. It really pains my heart how I think maybe a lot of bad agents gave the horrible reputation for life insurance. People think, oh, I'm not going to die, da 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 da. And I keep telling you guys, and I'm going to say it again. On my previous video, I said it 5 times. I don't want to say it 5 times because it's too redundant. No one has to die. If you get the policy today and you go visit your doctor tomorrow and the doctor says you have cancer, you get the money tomorrow. Very simple. The policies are being sold right now. They not all of them, but the ones that I offer, the one I have access to. I'm a broker, so I have access. I shop around and try to find the best deal for my clients, the highest coverage for the lowest monthly premium, and the most important part of being protected with life insurance policy is living benefits. Living benefits, which means in the event something does happen to you, like illness or accident, you can get the money right away. If your policy $1 million and you get into an accident where you're unable to perform 2 daily tasks or routines like eating or bathing, you're eligible for that money. You can submit the diagnosis to your insurance company, and it's called living benefits. It's called advancing the living benefits, which means you can use the money while you're alive. While you're alive, but if you need it, that's what I'm trying to say. I think I have came in contact with, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people or more, interested in getting $1 million policy, which is really easy to do and it's very affordable. But people think that life insurance is really expensive, but it's not. It's not expensive. And people think that, oh, I'm going to use this when I'm 90 years old. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I'm super healthy, but I could get sick tonight. I could pull out of my driveway eating my McDonald's and a semi could just T-bone me. And you'd have buns running out the window, one window, and you have the meat patties running out the other windows, and you have pickles and onions flying out the back door, and I'm crippled. Could happen. Nobody knows. It's like, if we can predict the future, we could buy a lottery ticket, and just be financially set for the rest of our life. But nobody can predict the future. Nobody knows. That's why it's called accidents. Accidents do happen. Whether it's a drunk driver hitting you, or whether you're sleepy on the road, or whether you're trying to change a light bulb at your house and you fall on the ladder, or you're up on the roof and you fall off, any kind of accident. Accidents do happen. It doesn't matter what your occupation is. You could be literally just walking down the steps and miss one of the steps, and next thing you're falling on your back, and then boom, there you go. You're in the hospital. It could happen. I've had that happen to me in the past, but I was really young and I was able to recover quickly. I lived in Ohio and it's ice cold, and I was going down the steps and it gets really, really slippery. And I slipped and fell on my back, and I was black and blue for about 2 months. Luckily, it wasn't a major injury, I was in pain for 2 months, but I I remember every time I would take a shower, I look at my body and it's just black and blue everywhere. I remember my nephew was there and he was laughing so hard. He was really small, so he thought it was funny. But I was in pain for a long time. But I say this just to, the meaning is just it could happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime, you know? And the most important thing I want you guys to, if your takeaway, the most important takeaway is this policy is available for you to use in the event of an accident or illness. So if your spouse died, for example, and you need to grieve, and she's gone, yeah, you might hire a nanny. You might need to take time off work to grieve and spend some time with the children because, excuse me, the bills don't stop. Just because your spouse is dead, the electric bill's going to come, the mortgage bill's going to come, the car payment, and so on and so forth. They keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming. They're never going to stop. But if you have $1 million sitting aside, you can just take a couple years off or something. Yeah? And just focus on healing and being by your children's sides. I have 3 children, so I know how devastating that would be if I was gone, or if their mother was gone. That would be devastating on both sides. You know, the children's going to definitely feel the pain. It's not easy losing a parent or a sibling or a family member. But the ability to have some type of insurance that will alleviate the financial stress instead of adding on to it. Just a few days ago, I was watching this thing on online where this lady found out she had cancer, and she was so devastated. She left her apartment and she went and slept in her car for like 3 days because she was so frustrated. She didn't know what to do. And she said she didn't have any insurance. The cops showed up and told her to leave the parking space because somebody in the neighbors said something, and they felt so bad for her. It was around the holidays, and they gave her some gifts, and they also gave her a little bit of cash, like $300, $400 to put gas in the car just so she would leave, you know. But the lady was so sad, and she was crying, and she was asking police officers. There was 2 of them, male and female police officers. She was asking them, "Why are you guys bothering me and this and that? I'm just here minding my own business." And the officers told her that the neighbors are complaining and she needs to move. So they gave her gas money, and they also gave her a bunch of gifts because it was a holiday. But it could, guys, sickness could happen. Cancer, heart attack, diabetes, stroke, any of that could happen. Anything could happen. And no one has to die. Okay? No one has to die. I want to really, really emphasize that point. No one has to die. In the event of sickness or accident, that money is available for you. Get it while you're young and healthy. This way you can get a large face value or a large benefit, death benefit. And in the event of sickness, instead of turn into a financial devastation and everything else that comes along with it, it can be, you'll be able to lean on your policy that will give you peace of mind, just allow you to even breathe. You know, if you have $1 million in the bank and say you want to take two years off work, you can do that. Just do it. Just don't quit your job or tell them I'm taking 2 years off, because you can afford it. You can pay off the house, you can pay off the car, you can afford to do a lot of things with $1 million, depending on your lifestyle. If you live a lavish lifestyle, or $1 million is not going to last very long. But if you live a very modest lifestyle, if you have a very modest lifestyle, you can stretch this out for a few years until you're mentally strong and physically strong and able to get out there and face the world again. You know, most importantly, you have to take care of your children. I spoke to somebody a few days ago, and the guy said, "I don't need life insurance because I don't have any. I don't have a car. I don't have a house. I don't have any blah 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 blah. No responsibilities." And I said, You don't need to have a car. You don't need to have a house. If you get sick, they'll give you the $1 million. You can just, you can literally get on a cruise for 2 years and just travel the world, meet somebody new every single day, and have them feed you, clean your room, clean your cabin, entertain you, take you travel everywhere, all throughout the. Go on a cruise for like 2 years, literally. Like you never have to get off of that boat. And the life insurance allows you to do that. You don't need to pay for your car. You don't need to pay for your house. You don't need to worry about any of that stuff. Use it for yourself, so you can just regroup and be able to think again and be normal again. I hope this makes sense, guys. Um, it really breaks my heart that people don't see the value in it. There's one element that I'm missing that I don't know what it is. It's just not allowing the people to resonate. Like, if you don't care about your loved ones, that's fine. How about that? How about you care about yourself? How about you? If something does happen to you tomorrow, do you want to lose everything you have? Everything that you've built, all your assets will be gone? Will you do that? Are you going to be okay with that? Or would you rather have a nice cushion, nice saving account waiting for you? In the event something happened, you're like, oh, in the back of your mind, you're like, I have that $1 million. If anything happens, I can use it. Yeah? Yeah, guys, the living benefits are really, really, really. Living benefits actually the most important thing in a life policy. If you don't have living benefits, then don't get the policy. And I don't know, a lot of my clients that I speak to now, I was like, oh, we have life insurance, and it was the worst thing that we've done. Not all of them, but some of them say that. They're like, oh, it was the worst decision that we made. Da 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 da. My father passed away with cancer. It was he didn't even make it to 70, and he was actually doing really well until he went to the hospital. When he went in, he never came back out. But he was, it's just that's why I lost my faith in pharmaceutical, any medical industry. I'm just very disappointed after that, because he was doing okay, but as soon as he went into the hospital, it was all over. Yeah. So the moral of the story, guys, I'm making this video for one reason. It's just if you eliminate the Netflix, if you eliminate the pizza, you eliminate the coffee, that's $100. Yeah, every month. In 30 days, you could literally scrounge up $100. And if you invest that $100 into something that would yield $1 million, why not put $100 into a savings account that will pay you $1 million in the event of sickness or accident? Don't drink the latte, don't get the pizza, don't get the Netflix. Turn all that off, because that stuff's not going to help you when you're in a bind in the event of sickness or or accident. Or perhaps if you die, like if you're dead, you can have your beneficiaries to be your children, your spouse, blah, blah, blah. Because you don't want them to move out of the house. You don't want them to sell the house. You don't want them to sell the car. You don't want them to downsize. You don't want them to be just piled up on top of each other in a small apartment. And if anything, it's going to actually make their life. You could be living in a very small place, and when a life insurance kicks in, you could move into a bigger place and you can live a better life. So it's more of an investment than it is a burden. Like if you pay like say $10 a week on coffee, that's very low. I know I spend a lot more than that. But if you spend $10 on coffee alone, that's $40 a month, and you spend $10 on pizza, or another $40 on pizza, that's low balling both. That's $100 right there. But the pizza, you drink it one time and it's gone. The coffee, you drink it one time and it's gone. You eat the pizza and drink the coffee. You know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, where you could take that $100 and put it somewhere like into a savings account, and think of it this way: you're putting the money in the bank, okay? You're putting $100 every month, but the bank will call you up one day and they say, Mr. Jones, did you know your policy comes with a $1 million coverage in the event of sickness or accident? And you're going to say, holy shit, I didn't know that. So if you get sick, instead of you getting your $100 back, they'll say, Mr. Jones, you're going to get $1 million back. Isn't that a great savings account? Instead of putting $100 in the bank and knowing that you're getting back 75 cents or $75 for each $100 because of the inflation and blah 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 and everything that goes with it, taxes and so on and so forth. Wouldn't it be better to put in $100 and knowing that you're getting $1 million back, and it's tax free? It's not reported to the IRS. You get all of it, all of it. $100 in, $1 million out. Nobody dies. Sickness, accident, money's in your bank. You collect that money and you just do with it as you wish. Take care of yourself, take care of your spouse, take care of the children. Go take a little time off, take a 2-3 months vacation, take a year vacation. And just so you can get your mind straight. Because going back to that story I was telling you about, that lady, when she got the bad news knowing that she got cancer, she literally just left her place. She was living in an apartment. She's like, I can't afford it anymore because I don't have any insurance. I got cancer. I'm going to die, blah, blah, blah. Or I can't even afford the, what's it called, medication, radiation, and the hospital bills and blah, blah, blah. Because hospital or medical bills are extremely, extremely expensive. Some people think that they have $300,000-$400,000 in savings and they can self-insure. No, you can't. That $300,000-$400,000 can disappear very quickly, very quickly. But on the same token, if you do get sick, instead of feeling miserable and sad and lonely and devastated and pushed against the wall, you're going to say, I don't give a shit. I got $1 million coming. I can relax. Yeah? I don't have to deal with the financial burden, at least. You know, I'm pretty sure it's not going to bring you happiness and health, but it will definitely ease the pain. They say money doesn't bring you happiness, but sure as hell can make you take some of that pain off, give you some relief. Yeah? If I hand you $1 million when you get sick, wouldn't that help? Okay. I just changed this thing here. I've been talking for 20 minutes. That's pretty good. I've never gone that long. I just changed the timer. I guess you could do it for 20 minutes. I was trying to change it on there and it went to 60 seconds, so it was too short. And now I changed it. I'm pushing some buttons out and I had to go on YouTube and look it up. But anyway, I figured it out, so it's 20 minutes. But I hope guys, I gave you answer some of your question, because I really love to educate. You don't know what you don't know, and that's why I like to educate people. It's always good to learn what's available out there. That's why people sometimes, when I explain to them how life insurance works, they're always like, how? What? Really? How? I didn't know that. Of course you didn't. It's very complicated. You have to do a lot of studying and have to take exams, and it's not something you just know by yourself. You have to put a lot of effort. You have to study. So I love to educate. I actually learn by educating. I like to teach people what the benefits of life insurance. Again, it's called life insurance, life. So you can use the money while you're alive. In the event of sickness or accident, that million's ready for you. You can use it anytime you want. My number's on the screen, guys. Don't wait till the house burns down till you take action. Get your insurance today. This way, in the event something does happen tomorrow, you're fully protected and you don't have to scramble trying to figure out what direction to go and where to come up with the money. Transfer the risk to the insurance company. You're no longer responsible. It's like getting insurance on a car or a house. In the event something happened, they are responsible. You're no longer responsible. Insure your health. Insure your life. And it'll be the best decision you ever make. I promise you that. call me, text me, comment one like.